Hey guys, it's Nick, and welcome back to another Long Island Wargaming Battle Report. It's been a little while. We had some Mordheim going, still some Mordheim videos to come, but gotta get ready for Crossroads. So this is me and Chris, Skaven versus Orcs and Goblins, and yeah, let's go right on into it. I forgot my digital rebel, so I apologize. So the camera used is going to be from my phone. But this is going to be Crossroads scenario number 4. It's got the 3 stationary objectives, which get... So here's our terrain. 3 impassables, 1 building, 1 forest, and then you can see there's 3 objective markers, 1 in the middle, then 2 from 12 inches of the board edge, so there's about 36 inches in between each one, I believe. And then the impassable gets a little... So for my magic, I got Pestilent Breath for my Plague Priest. So in the tournament, he's going to be a level 1 caster. I'm just using him to weed out spells. This way, when I roll my dice in Plague, which is what I usually like to do, I can get the spells I want, which worked out perfectly because I got Blessed with Filth, which is poison attack. I got my Wither, -1 toughness for the remainder of the game. Plague, and then the Dreaded 13th. So all the Plague, all the spells that I want, I got. Alright, so here's our deployment. I'll go from left to right, Skaven side. I got my gutter rudders moved up a little bit. Now the huge error on behalf of Chris and myself, because I should have tried to remember and help him out. There's a Night Goblin unit top left that has 2 Fanatics in it that we forgot the entire game, which would have changed everything. It would have affected my gutter runners. It would have just affected the Doom Wheel by that building that's going to be on that side of the board. So that's something just take note of, but you won't see the Fanatics, so that's got to be something that we make a little bit more effort to remember. Um, we've got Lightning Cannon, Slaves with a Rat Dart in front, the Plague Monks that got deployed in ranks of 9 just because I didn't have enough room, so I got to reform them. Clan Rats, Bunker Unit, Slaves, and then Doom Wheel and another Rat Dart out to the right. For Orcs and Goblins, left to right, we've got the Night Goblins, Wolf Riders, we got some War Machines on the back line. They are Stone Throwers and Goblin Flinger thing, the whatever it's called. 2 pump wagons, one's next to the well, one's behind the trees. Then we've got Black Orcs, Savage Orcs, and a Squig Herd, which Chris is proxying until he gets the models. And then in the back there is the Bunker Unit, and it's Doom Divers, I forgot what they were called. Got a Vanguard move here. Before I jump into turn 1, it's worth noting that Chris got Foot and Hand, and then a couple other spells, but those are the 2 important ones that you need when you're an Orcs and Goblins army. So right at the turn 1, these guys did not Vanguard because the Gutter Runners were in 12-inch radius, and it really didn't make sense for him to Vanguard. So he failed Animosity test and decided to charge in. I take out 2 with my shooting, and then we sit there for a little while. During his remaining moves, you can see the pump wagons move up a little bit further. Everything else moves up full for the most part, so that's pretty good for Chris to do. We are treating the forest as mundane, and then he has the pump wagon to the far right get blocked by that impassable terrain, so the Doom Wheel won't be able to go right at it, so I probably won't be able to shoot it. So it was a very uneventful magic phase for Chris. For the entire game, Chris rolled Winds of Magic like 2. He rolled Winds of Magic 4, and then like there might have been 1 turn where he got like a 10. So it was all like below 5 for Winds of Magic, so it really sucked. And with whatever little dice he did have, he tried to Fireball, the Hell Pit Abomination, but nothing happened. Chris tried to get off the small foot, but didn't work either. His shooting phase, however, was kind of successful and was able to take out the Warp Fire Thrower, which is upsetting. In combat, the Gutter Runners they do nothing, and I lose 1 guy, so this game I'm actually using the Snare Nets, which is different. It's nice because I get that little extra armor save, but in this case, the weapon skill and initiative debuff for the Wolf Riders really doesn't help me, but more attacks might have been better, so that's that. And then since I failed because he charged me, I needed to get a low roll. And he also has a banner because he's making these guys a scoring unit. So I actually lost by like 2 or 3, but I still ended up passing with the roll of a 4. Skaven turn 2 for movement. Helped Abomination just rode the side of the board. Everything else just kind of moved back or just got into a position. You can see the Engineer has exited the um, slave unit so that he can Doom Rocket the Black Orcs. The Doom Wheel goes for the fast cav all the way to the far right. I cast Plague and get an alright. I mean, I have 6 dice, I get it off, but Chris has to scroll it because he really can't have that spell bouncing around. I try to get the Dreaded 13th off, but it is a hard spell to get. You need 21 showing, but with your +4, that would get you your 25, but I ended up rolling like an 18 or something, so it's a tough one to get off. And then the Great Horned One has guided the missile into the Black Orcs and gave us our lucky 13 kills. So 13 Black Orcs, eat it. Doomwheel zaps the fast cav, they fail their test, and they're gone. In combat down here, I was able to kill the fast cav and overrun into the Night Goblin units. Orc and Goblin turn 2. Pump Wagon goes into the Engineer that's tilted so that he won't overrun into the Plague Monks. The second Pump Wagon makes a mad dash for the slaves, and he rolls like 17, and he needed an 18 to get it with the pump harder, and he just almost got it. So unfortunately, it falls short an inch of the slaves. So I'll get the charge, which is really sucks for Chris. He got bad luck on that because, I mean, he's too close now that I have to charge him. And when that thing doesn't get an impact hits or anything and it gets charged, it just does not do well. So, and then the rest of his stuff moved up, and Animosity was failed on the squig herd in the forest. Chris is able to do Hand of Gork onto the Squig Herd, which I'm fine with since they failed Animosity. They were stuck back there anywhere, so it essentially was the movement phase they would have gotten. They rolled an exact 8 anyway, so I didn't scroll it. I let it go. It's not really that much of a threat. The Engineer takes, like, I don't know, 20 wounds from the freaking Pump Wagon. It overruns and rolls really bad. He rolled his 3 dice or his 4 dice, and he rolled like 6 inches. So the slaves get to make a charge onto that also, which is pretty awesome. Gutter Runners do horrible. Kind of wish I had those extra attacks, but I do 1 wound to the caster that's in that unit. He's got the Goblin caster in there. And then I do no wounds to the unit. So I do 1 wound. I lose by a lot because he's got a banner. He's got 3 ranks and all this stuff. I end up rolling Snake Eyes. This is Skaven turn 2. I charge in both slave units against the pump wagons and do nothing else. The Doom Wheel comes around. The giant rats charge the squig herd. This way they could make room for the Doom Wheel to come in, but the Doom Wheel rolled really bad. His random move was like 4, and then the random move for the freaking Helping Abomination was also really bad. He rolled like a 6. So I'm rolling really below average with my random moves, but whatever. An important move worth noting is the Rat Dart doing its job, redirecting the frenzied unit. In Magic, I decide to plague the Savage Orcs and kill a bunch of them. I think about 14 of it eat it, so that's awesome. My shooting doesn't do much else, and you can note that both pump wagons are dead. The gutter runners kill the caster, which is great, but they lose 3 guys, I think, and then lose combat. They break. They get run down because Chris wanted to restrain. This way he can shoot at the Helping Abomination, but they failed their restraint test. So they charge in, which is not a big deal because now there's just no impact hits. So there's D6 less strength 6 attacks that he'll have to deal with next during the combat. So this is Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Now, Chris right now is winning the objectives because he's got the most units within the objectives. You have to have the unit with the most wounds, or units. This way, you know, you can accumulate it, I believe, within 6 inches. You get extra points if your enemy gets none. Yeah, so he's got them now, but he still has to hold them, and um, I mean, my guys are just staying back. So Savage Orcs make a charge. Black Orcs move up just a little bit, but he's got a lot of stuff going against him right there with the 3 units that can go finish those Black Orcs off. And the Squig Herd just moves forward a little bit. The Hell Pit Abomination does terrible. It only kills 3 Night Goblins. I lose combat, but Stubborn, Leadership 8, I roll 7, so he sticks. And none of Chris's magic or war machines did anything. One actually blew up. So this is Skaven turn 3. Move the slaves up full. This way when the Black Orcs charge, if they decide to, which hopefully he does, he'll hit the slaves. He'll grind there. Hopefully my leadership and banner will stick him there. And he'll lose Choppas. I'll be able to charge him with the furnace, get my impact hits, and all that fun stuff. So the whole game, my BSB and my Gracier have been hopping back and forth between the bunker unit and the clan rat unit, that long clan rat unit by the Tower of Blood, acting as impassable. This way I just keep them in range of spells, but also keep them out of harm's way. So, and the Doom Wheel finally makes it in. Not the best choice against the horde of squigs. Maybe I could have sent him after the bunker unit. Probably would have done better, but I also didn't want him to, get shot down. I get Irresistible Plague off onto the Savage Orcs, which is great. A handful of them drop, and then I roll a 1, which means Chris has the option to end it or bounce it back, and he makes a huge risk here, which is totally worth it, and he bounces it back, to the Clan Rat unit. With toughness 3, I should have lost half my unit. It looks like I only lost about 12 guys there, so Chris was kind of pissed about that, which, I mean, I can't believe how well I've been rolling this game and how poorly he has, but it was a good choice, because if I had lost half the unit and I rolled the miscast result, large template, that unit would have been gone. And then with no ranks, my BSB and my Gracier could have very much fled and then maybe never rallied. But either way, that was a huge risk, which was well worth it, because if it had happened, that unit would have been gone. They would have ran off the table, and I mean, honestly, at the extra -1 fleeing, I probably would have rolled off the table, lost my BSB, my Gracier, and that unit. So, but I didn't lose that many guys, and my miscast was just a power drain or something, where I just lost dice and took a wound. Lightning Cannon misfired and decided to shoot backwards, so it was better than having it move in a random direction and hit my Plague Monk Horde, because then I would have been really screwed if I lost that unit. This is just another shot of the battlefield. I'm able to break the Night Goblins and run them down, which is great. I can go take care of some more machines, or maybe go after the Black Orcs. It's just a shame that we forgot about the Night Goblin Fanatics, because that would have changed the game drastically. Orcs and Goblins turn 4, I believe. Black Orcs go in, Savage Orcs go in. The Doom Wheel's still grinding there. Took a couple wounds last turn. And yeah, so that's that. Gaze of Mork gets off and does a straight line through the Plague Monks. Take a handful of wounds. Magic Res helps me just a little bit. In combat, of course, lose a whole bunch of slaves. And in this combat, I lose a whole bunch of all my slaves, which is 50. I believe somehow I was out of my leadership general, which really stinks, but I think it was more important that the Gracier was able to give the 12-inch leadership to the other unit against the Black Orcs, and this unit, whatever, I could deal with losing them, because it's kind of important that the Plague Monk area goes down nicely. And then here's a topic that you guys can weigh in on. The Doom Wheel gets crushed, of course. I mean, the Squigs have strength 5. I mean, it wasn't going to last too long. But the thing is, though, I sent it into combat should I not? Should I have it keep running around even though a Doom Diver is going to take it out no problem, and really zapping 3 infantry isn't going to do anything? So I mean, I could have sent it after the War Machines, but I just wanted to get into combat because this did tie it up. It did tie up the Squigs for a turn and a half, but I mean, this thing does not do well in combat against high strength, infantry. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think on that. Skaven turn 4. I charge in my Plague Monks. Got to do that. My other 2 infantry units just kind of rearrange themselves so that they can see the Savage Orcs, and you can see that Chris reformed his horde by the forest to face my guys. So also the Help Abomination is going to go take out some War Machines. The second Rat Dart is going towards the other Rock Lava. There is a successful cast of the Dreaded 13th onto the Savage Orcs. Hooray! I roll like a 14 and ended up killing all of them except the command. That also made me remember I gotta paint up and be able to bring enough slaves or clan rats in case I do Dreaded 13 something off the field. I gotta have those models for the extra unit. So, and these guys are immune to psych, so they don't panic. But at least they're below their 25%, so I can get half victory points for them. So crush the Black Orcs, no problem. My slaves are dwindling, but oh well. And then yeah, so that's my turn 4. So I'm in a pretty good position. The War Machine's down. The Help Abomination just outright destroys it. So Chris's turn 5 now. It's pretty. It's getting close to the 2.5 hour mark. We're trying to keep our games within time restriction. It goes without fail though that we sit and talk about strategy and other stuff. Since I mean we're friends, we're in a tournament. You're not gonna know the person that much, and you're not gonna have random things to chat about. So something also worth noting: I never re-hoarded my Plague Monks. They're still in ranks of 9 because I had to deploy them in ranks of 9 so they fit, and I just forgot to do that. So I'm not getting the horde attacks, which is a silly mistake on my behalf. So I issue a charge onto. Oh no, this is Chris's turn. The Black Orcs rally, and everything just kind of shifts around a little bit. The Savage Orcs get out of the way. Now he is kind of desperate. He doesn't want to just throw the game, so he goes for Foot of Gork and he gets it off, and it bounces like 5 times and pretty much knocks down the Plague Monk units that maybe like, I don't know, 15 guys left, which is pretty awesome. So this is the battlefield at the end of turn 5. We ran out of time. So ran the Black Orcs down, which is great. And then I initially issued a charge against the bunker unit, which also fled, so I redirected the Black Orcs. So they're not fleeing in this picture, but they're fleeing, so they're not going to count as scoring for that middle piece of objective. And I get the 1 objective by the building, so we'll tally up victory points and see what the result is. Alright, so it's worth noting here the victory point conditions. If it's dropped below 25%, you actually get half points for it. Or if it's fleeing, you also get half points for it. So that actually gives me a lot of extra points. So I end up scoring 1870 off of Chris, and then I get 200 extra for the objective for a total of 2070. Chris scores 573 points off me, the difference being 1497, which is so close. I'm not going to get a 20-0 on him. I'm going to get a 19-1. And you can see here I will get 2 more, 1 for controlling an objective, 1 more point for getting for my opponent controlling no objectives. So I walk away with 21. Chris would walk away with 1. So yeah, I did pretty well. So Chris is going to do decent in this tournament. It's just the matchup between my list and his list has just been really, really bad. Skaven, Orcs, and Goblins could be tough, I guess, but I feel like some of the more fighty armies he's going to do great against. So I also did a different way of recording these videos. I edited it just a little bit differently, so Just let me know what you guys think if you see any changes. It's a little bit shorter and a little bit more direct. So hope to see you in the next one, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching.